Welcome back, friends. And when I say welcome back, that could be to this channel. It could be back home to where you were. We just had the Pro Tour out there in Baltimore. And my, oh my, is there some reflecting to do on what I will just casually say was the best tournament or event or experience, frankly, in Flesh and Blood history, at least for me. And I know some people's ideas might change. Maybe there's some local thing that you won or some event that you attended, some calling somewhere, and that just good things happened, and that was the best for you. But overall, the impact of this particular tournament, frankly, was the most important element out of all of it. And for the future, the longevity, the health of Flesh and Blood, etc. Before we kind of talk about the significance of this tournament moving forward, let's talk about the tournament itself. And when I say it was the best tournament for Flesh and Blood, I mean that for me personally, in terms of meeting friends again, seeing my family, which is what you all have essentially become. I'm wearing this wicked awesome, you see it there? That is a Katsu shirt that was so graciously gifted to me by FAB Metal Tokens. These shirts are amazing. The designs are incredible. I highly recommend you guys go check out FAB Metal Tokens. They hooked me up with this shirt. They knew I was a Katsu guy. I also bought some awesome pins and some metal tokens from them as well. And this hat, some amazing people here. This is Feisty Locals. Hooked me up with this hat, and also because they know I'm an absolute sugar fiend, brought me some pastries and some donuts, some fresh baked pastries and donuts on the Friday morning, which honestly was so well needed because, you know, throughout all of the theatrics, throughout the whole show of it all, sometimes you just forget to feed yourself and push food into your mouth, and that's precisely what I did with probably too many donuts. I know that there was one point where I think it was Steven or 10, and we're like, all right, was there a maple donut in there? I'm like, yes, and I ate them all, so get bent. But thank you to everybody who was there, was super kind to me, and I think just the vibe in general was just so happy. It was so jovial. It was so, I don't want to say relaxed. I think that relaxed is not the right word. I think it was just that people were at ease, because I think that there was a lot of I wouldn't say turmoil, but I'd say uneasiness moving into this tournament because of what we have seen from previous major tournaments and major spectacles, the last one being Worlds. And without going too deep into it, I think that everybody left Worlds wanting more or saying, you guys can do better. The greatest spectacle of everything, the big pinnacle of all Flesh and Blood competition, essentially kind of fizzled out. We started so strong with Pro Tour New Jersey. Pro Tour Lille was good, and then Worlds was probably the weakest of the three at the time, which in reality it shouldn't have been. Pro Tour Baltimore was announced and met with a lot of huffing and hawing from people saying the location, the this, the that, and there was so. I gotta give so much, you know, accolades and love to the LSS team who put this on, because this had everything that everybody wanted. Now, every tournament's going to have some complaints, and every tournament's going to have some whispers and some murmurs here and there regarding things that could be improved, ways to make the tournament better, the whole experience and whatnot. But this one here was unique in that I did not hear anything. And now that isn't to say that there isn't room for improvement in certain places, but I really struggled to find places where I was like, well, this could be better and that could be better. And in those small margins where improvement can be made, honestly, that is already leaps and bounds better than what we got. There was the sort of elevated spectator area that you could walk up to and just overlook, hang over the railing and watch the actual feature matches being played. No more grouping up around sort of the curtain, the curtains or the you know, the velvet ropes, as it were, to sort of catch a peek of the match in action. You were above board, bird's eye view of everything going around. There was so much space that nobody felt cramped. The vendors were great. There was a viewing area, like a big screen where with dozens of chairs you can sit down and just watch. There were tables, plenty of tables for you to play casually, to eat, to chill, just to shoot the breeze. The whole thing was just phenomenal. I just sort of pull the curtain back. What I appreciated most about it, and not because I don't want to be amidst all of my friends out there on the venue floor, but the casting and production area was separated from the venue entirely. You had to go through this door to a separate studio where there was no distraction. It was just business. So the production team at SCG was top notch. They did a really good job. And there was a few hiccups here or there, but they tackled them as best as they could. This stuff happens, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how to best say it. I know that at one point I think the stream kind of crapped out for a bit. I got like 12.5 messages from people saying, "Hey, what's going on?" But it's out of our control, and frankly, sometimes these things happen. Ultimately, I think the whole tournament was a big success, and I want to give a huge just you can tell I'm at a loss for words, because as I reflect on this entire weekend, it was the best weekend of my career, and I was hesitant to say that because I've said it so many times, but truly this event was so meaningful. I met so many amazing people, and I reconnected with so many amazing people. My friends at MinMax, my friends at Realm Games, the team at Magnolia, Fab Metal Tokens, just so many other retailers and other people out there. And then the players, seeing Brody's smile light up when, he's just talking about the game and hanging out with Mara, seeing Alex from Tales of Alex and just the whole crew. It was exceptional. It was just so exceptional. I'm not going to name too many names because otherwise I would just be going on forever. But Michael Fang, I know that when I presented him the award at the end of the night, I called him the sure thing Michael Fang, because in reality, that's what he is. The guy has just been steadfast in his tournament, performances. And this is another feather in an otherwise incredible cap where he just took the deck, played it meticulously, played the hot and heavy aggro style when needed, and really dialed it back to a glacial pace in order to secure wins where needed. He is an excellent example of what practice and persistence and dedication can result to, which is a Pro Tour win. This is somebody who took a hero that I think a lot of people were saying, well, you're not going to get that hero through against the field of dragons out there, and ultimately it came down to Mara Faris's Dromai versus Michael Fang's Oldham, and it was absolutely just tremendous to behold and to see everything going through. The draft element portion of the whole tournament was cool. The discussions were awesome, and I do also want to give a lot of love to Mara Faris, because Mara Faris doesn't have necessarily the luxury of a team to consistently test with and whatnot. She was persistent. She did it on her own. Obviously, there are people who help and whatnot, but this is somebody who doesn't always get the same reps in as everyone else does, because a lot of the times at things like the min-max brawls or battle hardens or whatever, she might not be playing because she has her vendor booth. She's doing her altars, so she doesn't have the same experience as everyone else does. When Brody Spurlock's out there winning a realm brawl at min-max games in Chicago, you have Mara in the corner chirping in my ear, telling the casting booth that Dromai is no laughing matter, and we give her shit about it here and there, but ultimately she was right, because Dromai had a really good showing and there were some excellent players there altogether. I'm going to talk at length about this tournament on Instant Speed number 81, where I'm going to have Logan and Charmer on the show, so I don't want to dig too deep into this, because this is supposed to be a 10-minute video, and I know that I've just about to cross the 10-minute mark now. So I want to talk about what this tournament means for the future of Flesh and Blood, and sort of clue you in a little bit about what that means for bigger tournaments and for the organized play scene moving forward, the ambitions, because this was great. This was excellent. But I will say this, what we see today, or what we saw last weekend rather, was basically, from what I understand and from the conversations I've had with LSS, is about 30 to 50% of the ambitions they have for what they want Worlds to be. And I know they haven't given a location specifically. I know more or less where their target area is, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think it's going to be great. Obviously, there's still some logistics to actually hammer down, but ultimately, it's not necessarily about the location. It's about how it's executed and what we see, because California was a cool spot to go to. The West Coast, it's sunny or whatever, it's great. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people left that event saying, man, they were aiming for a home run and they hit a stand-up single, and that's good enough. But ultimately, everybody was hoping for a grand slam. Now, I'm thinking that this tournament, this Pro Tour in Baltimore, was in fact that home run they were looking to hit, but they want to extend that into like a walk-off grand slam for Worlds. I don't know what that means, because I'm looking at what we saw and I was like, how do you improve on this? I have my own ideas. I know Tannen and myself and a lot of other people have always, beaten the drum of saying, it'd be cool, an arsenal cam, so people know what's in the arsenal and things like that. Little tiny details that would improve the production, the value, for you guys at home and everything. But I think what they're aiming for is the experience in person. And from my conversations with LSS, I have full confidence that that's what they're aiming for. As hit or miss as Worlds was, that's their intention remained the same, is that they wanted a good experience. If people were unhappy or unsatisfied with Worlds, you can be damn well sure that James and the gang are going home and saying, we are not satisfied. I wouldn't be surprised if they come home from Baltimore and say, all right, that was a success, but they still want more. The whole experience in general was one that people left and extended the party after the event into the hotel lobbies. I've said this so many times before, but it's so damn true. The Hyatt Regency where we were staying, a bunch of us were staying, the entire lobby was essentially littered. You had like FAB Unsealed with recording stuff, booming it out, playing like some AC/DC with like a pizza going around and stuff like that, ripping packs. We had drafts going on. There was high-level play, there was practice, there was casual, there was all kinds of nonsense. You had Logan Peterson with like a cooler backpack, just yeeting beers at people, having a good time. You had so much fun to be had everywhere. And what does this mean for the future of LSS? I think it means that it's healthy. I think it means that the aftertaste of Worlds has been doused and dealt with, because Pro Tour Baltimore put to rest a lot of people's concerns of maybe LSS doesn't necessarily know how to put on the big one. They can do callings, they can do this, they can do that, but when it comes to the big deal, really New Jersey was their swan song, and everything was downhill from there. I don't think that's true. I think that what Baltimore was them saying, this is what we've been wanting forever. And yeah, we had some growing pains, and New Jersey was our first kick at the can, and that was an awesome experience. But everything after that left people wanting more, and that's not what they wanted. They wanted people wanting more in the context of they wanted those people to go home saying, I wish that there was another day, another weekend, or this was like a little bit longer, because I know that it was a blink of an eye. I was there from Wednesday and I came home Monday, and I could promise you that it did not feel like the 4 or 5 days that I was there. From the point that I walked into the venue on the Thursday night to meet people and do the Q&A and have some food and chat with people, to the point that I got to cast my first match, to the point where we were crowning a cosplay champion. Rachel Stoddard wins the cosplay championship. I call it the championship. To the point that we handed the tournament check and trophy to Michael Fang. It sucks, because that's sort of, it's like seeing the end of a movie that you loved, like this trilogy of movies. It's like watching The Lord of the Rings, and you want the extended edition, you want the 10 endings all lined up, because you never want it to end. You just want more. And it's a good experience. And I think that LSS put on an exquisite show. Alex Norville did, a Titan's work in terms of how he brought the experience to people, live blogging, keeping people up to speed, and everybody was just tremendous. The players were incredible. The community is awesome and striving. And I sincerely appreciate the kind words that were sent my way, and all that jazz. So the next event, who knows? There's going to be a whole bunch of small ones. I know I'm going to be in Pittsburgh in a couple weeks. I'm going to be at I'm going to be doing a tournament in Minneapolis, Bloomsfield, Minnesota, to do like a case tournament on May 12th. So I'll see somebody there perhaps, but I just never want this to end, and I know that's a very selfish thing because these things cost money and it's expensive. But LSS is doing some good news here, and I hope that continues. I just want more, and I think that's what they're going to give, because I think that at the end of the day, what this tournament did just solidified the fact that, hey, 400 people in the Pro Tour, almost 900 and change in the calling. Several hundred into the Battle Hardened, 300 or 400 into the Battle Hardened, and then just firing off all the side events, just nonstop. Nobody was left wanting besides more of the same, and that is a good thing. So kudos to LSS, kudos to Michael Fang for a well-deserved win, and kudos to Mauro Faris for getting so close, but not quite there. Ultimately, friends, I will see you at the next one. We're not done talking, so make sure that you check out ISP 81 on Thursday, and we'll go from there. Anywho, on that note, we'll talk soon.